reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend, these games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapons with Doghouse Systems. Audible, find your next great read at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter, and by GoDaddy. Put your website to work while you play.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 192. I'm Chris and I'm joined once again by none other than those favorite people who I like to talk about MMOs with. I have got Mr. at MMO Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Chris. Happy Monday evening.
Absolutely. It is a joyous evening, it is. And, of course, Mr. Layanor, the minion master himself. Hello, Layanor.
Hello, minions. I have a pound of hamburger in the refrigerator, and I'm starving.
That's interesting. And, of course, none other than Mr. Harry Hall. Hi, Harry.
2 bananas and an umbrella? I don't know. What?
I haven't
Anyway.
eaten in 12 hours. I'm sorry.
I'm confused.
So am I. But
I thought for sure that was going to run into like a priest, a rabbi, and the Pope walk into a bar or something.
Yeah. That's just weird. Anyways, Layanor, why don't you start telling us about what you've been doing in game? Because I just want to move along.
Okay,
along.
we're going to move along.
don't rush it. Don't rush him. Just give him
Give him space. Give him space.
A couple things real quick. I did jump into Lotro and didn't get into the PvP area. I've been working on my legendary weapons, still getting those up to speed. I've been playing Hearthstone every night, getting a new level or getting a new pack of cards every night. And I've gotten up to level 33 now.
That is impressive. I gotta say, that is crazily impressive.
My roommate bought me XCOM. I've been wanting that game for such a long time, and it was only $12, and it had everything. It was on Steam, so I got that, and I got to play the beginning of that, and I'm loving that game. And it is really, really good, especially since I played the older ones. I really liked those when they first came out.
May I give you a little
Rocksmith.
advice? When you're playing XCOM, make sure to name your soldiers after people you know. The enjoyment will go up way higher.
Oh, that hurts.
Or
I have
Wait,
new feels erupting that I never knew I had.
When XCOM just came out, I played it and friends of mine played it, and we automatically named the characters after each other, and we started sharing stories about, oh my God, you just got killed in such a horrible way, and that was that was fantastic. So just do that.
I'll name them all Steve.
Oh,
that bastard.
I have a
Steve.
feeling the game is going to end very quickly for you.
Yeah. Continue,
I-
Rocksmith. I saw you play that.
I finally got all of the things to play Rocksmith. I got a guitar a couple years ago when I knew the game was coming out. Then I recently, on Humble Bundle, the 2014 edition of Rocksmith came out, and it was only like $12 or something like that at the time. And I went back and found the older game just so I could get the plug along with it to hook up the
Right.
guitar.
Yeah.
Found that on Amazon for like $8.
Oh, cool.
So now I have like 120 songs with a pretty much cheap game and a guitar ready to play. So I'm looking to get into that a lot more. And there was a big update with Guns of Icarus, and I got to jump into that today. And seen some of the new things that they were doing. But what this reminded me of the PAX the interview that you did with them when you played with them.
Right.
If you guys didn't know, I was also at PAX, and I started digging through the audio files because the video didn't work. So I got the audio file, and Chris, it's right there. If you see it right there, play that, and you guys can hear me at PAX.
All right, here we go.
Hello, everybody. This is Layanor at PAX, and I am talking to Benjamin, Jimmy. Hello.
Hi, yeah, you could call me Braxwolf.
No, dude, no. You play it off. Just play it off. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, Benjamin, Johnny. Hey.
That's not the name you said the first time.
It doesn't matter. Okay, the MMO that you're working on. How is that? What game is it?
It is Final Blasted Knights of the Republic Guard.
Wow. That's totally what I want to talk to you about. That game. How long has it been in development?
Well, we came up with the original concept about 13 years ago.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and it's very unique in that your controller is made of Play-Doh.
Oh.
And so, depending on what you want to do and how you want to play the game, you have to mold and shape it accordingly.
This is absolutely fascinating. Is that free-to-play Play-Doh?
Well, yes, there is a free-to-play version, but if you would like multicolored buttons, that's going to be something that's offered in the cash shop.
Oh, I see. That's a lot of things that MMOs are doing right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a spur-of-the-moment microtransaction-ish, substitution-ish model. Yeah.
So when you started this 13 years ago, were you planning doing a Kickstarter 2 days ago then?
Well, we did discuss Kickstarter, yes, but it was actually just us sitting around kicking each other until we would give enough money in the pile in order to make the game. So it was a little bit different concept than what you would think of as the Kickstarter of today.
Wow, that's quite a starting that you got there. What are the women going to be wearing in this game?
That's a great question. We're not going to have women models in this game, or actually male models either. We're going to stick mainly just to insects and worms because there's really no controversy surrounding those.
Okay. One more question. Damn it, my food's burning. Thank you, Billy John, for talking to me, and dude, see you in game, everybody.
See, that's amazing because I got in line for Benji, Billy Bob, Jim's booth, and the line was like clear across the hall. I couldn't get in, so props to you, Layanor, for nailing that interview.
Oh, I was in there. I was in there like Flynn.
Did you have Steve help you out a little bit?
Steve was holding the camera. That's why we didn't have video.
Actually, the moldable, flexible controller is something that's also been examined by Japanese porn game creators. I think we should ask Bill what he's been playing.
I'm just thinking about that game that you had to shake back and forth on the Vita, right? to play.
So,
what was that game? Like Super Console Sexy Force or something?
I don't remember. It was actually a good card game with a terrible mechanic. Bill, what did you play this week?
Oh, well, I guess it would be anticlimactic unless I said Japanese porn or something like that. But
anticlimactic
I guess that's the way we're going to have to go. I played a little bit of Guild Wars 2 this week, jumped into World of Warcraft, and I did my level 90 bump. Little bit of information out there for anybody who is going to do a level 90 bump in World of Warcraft. I didn't find this out until afterwards. When you bump your character up to level 90 after the last patch, after 6.02 launches, you actually have to go through almost a Death Knight-esque quest series in order to unlock all your class abilities. So I had a level 80 shaman, for example, and I had all my skills and abilities and everything like that before I did the level 90 bump. After the bump, I had like lightning bolt, and that's it. I couldn't heal. I didn't have anything, and it was. I spent 30 minutes like wandering around trying to find a trainer, trying to figure out why I'd had no abilities, thinking that this is a really wild talent tree reset. So be aware if you're doing your level 90 boost now, because you're going to have to invest half an hour or 45 minutes in quests in order to.
That wasn't too bad, though. I mean, it had its own little bit to it, its own little arc, I guess.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and it wasn't bad once you knew what you were doing. But I was sitting there just scratching my head. I had no idea, and I was it was fluky that I actually happened to be on the WoW subreddit and saw this post buried on like the 3rd page. So I found that, and actually maybe I'll find that link and we'll share it in the show notes when those show notes hit the interwebs. Beyond that, Shadows of Mordor, and I'm just kicking ass at Shadows of Mordor now that I'm playing on my computer instead of
streaming
lagging it to my TV.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
there you go. So that was pretty much it. It was simple week in gaming for me. How about you, Harry? What have you been up to?
Wait, hold on. How far are you in Shadows of Mordor? I've got questions here. I'm not going to let you just steamroll through it. Come on.
Don't you know we're in a hurry here, Chris? Come on. Chop.
This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff here.
I'm about, I don't know, like 8 hours in or something like that. Not very far in the story. I've been monkeying around just wreaking revenge on my first session, mostly.
Have you taken care of the 4 captains?
I've taken care of some 4 captains. I did have one fight where I actually killed 3 captains that all jumped me, and I was really pleased with myself after that.
War chiefs? Yeah, 4 war chiefs. Have you taken care of the 4 war chiefs?
4 war chiefs. I have not.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I have a feeling you're going to be mentioning something about that, though, aren't you?
I will be, but let's let Harry go first. I was just curious.
Oh, I see.
Harry.
Well, I am trying to get my feet steady in Eve again, because that's the one thing that's terrible about Evil Wine. If you leave it for a while and you want to get back to playing, you have to relearn the game. So I'm setting skills, flying around back to base, and checking out if I might find another corporation that's a bit more active currently. Because if I'm going to play
other than the one you ditched, you mean?
Well, I'm still in it. Kitsune
I'm not bitter.
Is still well, you stopped playing, so let's not start this.
You might have a point there, but still, you did ditch. I'm still in Kitsune. It is the corporation where I spend 100% of my Eve time.
No, you're not in Kitsune.
You kicked me? You bastard! I am heartbroken.
I did not kick you. I mean, not hard. Anyway, so I'm actually, this is one of the fun things about Eve is reading up on it. I'm doing some. I'm actually doing homework to get back into a game. It's ridiculous, but it's. I'm looking forward to doing some exploration again, and maybe getting into player versus player. Destruction soon. My main game for this week was Kerbal Space Program, and I have a little tip for all those of you who played the game and found it a bit too frustrating or too complicated. I've played a lot of this game. I think I've sunk almost 70 hours into it so far, and so I know how it works. I know how orbital mechanics work. I know how you can actually adjust your orbit and do rendezvous and get to planets, and I've done some missions too, so I know how it works. But I also know that planning your orbits and planning your missions can be a bit frustrating, and there is a very helpful plugin that you can freely download called Mechanical Jab or MacJab, and it is basically an autopilot. And that doesn't mean that you don't control anything anymore. It's not like you put in the game on auto play, but what it does, it calculates your orbital nodes. So if you want to make a rendezvous to a moon or a planet, it calculates when you have to start your burn, and you can actually let it execute your burn as well. And this is great because the tiny little minutiae of space travel sometimes just is frustrating and boring, especially if you miss your burn or you're making a mistake or you're fiddling trying to find the correct rendezvous, which can take literally years because you have to time accelerate to a certain point in your orbit that you can reach another planet. All those things are taken out of your hands, and you can focus on the actual mission planning, on the building, and on the actual exploration and gameplay stuff. And I think that is a good thing. But I would not recommend installing this plugin until you actually have a handle on the basics. Because you do want to know how it works because you give it out of your hands.
Okay,
So,
but what about those of us who have played Kerbal Space Program and have yet to have a single successful orbit insertion?
I would say that you would first have to learn to make a successful orbital insertion. No,
Damn
the
it!
thing is, no, it is not difficult, but in the sense that it is doable and you can actually quite easily learn how to do it. But it helps. If you want to get into orbit, the first thing you do is you fly straight up until you're at 10 kilometers. At 10 kilometers, you make a turn to the 45-degree mark on your nav ball, and you fly up 45 degrees in the direction of the rotation of the planet. And then if your apoapsis has oh god, I'm actually nerding out here. Just watch YouTube, okay? And
That sounds like my job.
Actually, I had a little flashback from the day that I did tech support, but I actually do tech support on space flight. And I also realized in this brief moment, it doesn't matter what kind of tech support you do. You might be doing tech support for orbital mechanics at NASA. It still sucks.
Nah.
So,
Did you try turning it off and on again? That's what...
Did you remember to disengage from the tower, from the launch tower?
Is it definitely plugged in?
I've had some moments that I actually did not plug in.
Yeah.
Some of it and exploded. My final game also trajectory based, and that's Desert Golfing. I've broken through the 2,000 hole barrier.
Wow.
Did you achieve orbital insertion in Desert Golfing?
I've achieved a new level of complete and utter shame by playing this game for so long. And the game gets exponentially more difficult after the 2,000 hole mark. You get some really impossible holes to navigate, and it's still a fun game. I stand behind every word I say. Holes. I can say that. My name is Harry Hole. Which is terrible. I have actually had a lot of fun with Desert Golfing. I'm still playing it, and it is a recommended game. This is Game of the Month. Stamp of approval. That's it. That's what I've been playing.
There you go.
Have you been playing Desert Golfing?
A little bit, but I have not found it to be as addictive as you have. I found it to be quite easy to put down.
Well, then you're wrong.
I could very well be. That's very, very likely, as my wife keeps reminding me.
Your wife is smart, isn't she?
She's intelligent. Well, except for her choice in partners. All right, moving along to what I've been playing.
These are very old jokes, but it doesn't matter. It's like, are we at a 30s radio comedy show now?
Well, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I've been playing Marvel Heroes. I put up a Rogue video last week. Really enjoyed playing her, and I've been playing Nova. And with Guardians of the Galaxy coming out this summer, I read all those comics again, and just in love with the whole galactic Marvel universe. So Nova brings me one step closer to Quasar, because there is actually an item that is Wendell's quantum bands that you can wear. And that's the closest I'm going to get to have Quasar in Marvel Heroes. And Quasar is my favorite Marvel hero of all time. So I've been having fun with Nova, just really good. Like Bill, I went through the World of Warcraft sort of, I guess, starter zone for new 90s. I also bought the expansion and up-leveled my Holy Cow, a Tauren Paladin. For those of you who don't know, Taurens are cows standing on their hind legs. So I am a Paladin, a Holy Warrior, so I'm a Holy Cow. It works. It took like 5 or 6 years of WoW before they let that happen, and that was the big joke. And I wasn't playing WoW then, so damn it, I'm gonna make the joke now when I am playing WoW. Holy cow! Holy cow! Holy cow! Are we done yet?
Well, your timing has always been unique. Let's put it that way.
Shadows of Mordor. I am past those 4 war chiefs. There's a bit of a reset, I'll say. I don't want to spoil it for Bill or for anyone else. And I'm on to sort of the second big area and second band of army. And really still just loving it. But I'm finding now that I was hoping with Shadows of Mordor, with some other games that are coming out as well, to expand on my MMO itch, scratching through some different games that weren't strictly MMOs, because that word is becoming so ambiguous now, right? You can't just say, oh, yep, MMO, wow. Well, no, is World of Tanks an MMO? Kind of, not really. It's kind of an MMO like Call of Duty's an MMO, but wait. So anyways, trying to expand things, and it's not quite hitting that goal. I'm not quite getting that out of the game. That's okay. It's still really, really lots of fun.
Maybe we need a new term, like a persistent multiplayer game.
Yeah, I think Shadows of Mordor would be absolutely killer as a co-op game. Can you just imagine murdering across Mordor? That would be a great podcast, Murdering Across Mordor.
The title is perfect, but... Well, you might have that what you're looking for in Assassin's Creed Unity.
That's coming out, and then the stuff that they're looking at with the Dragon Age co-op stuff, which is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more.
I don't want that.
No,
I don't. I want my single player RPGs to be single player RPGs. I've had so much fun with games like Wasteland and Divinity. In what was it? Impossible Sin I don't know. But yeah.
That is a brilliant sentiment, Harry, and I am with you 100%.
And that's why, one of the reasons I was so wonderfully, I don't know I was swooning, I guess I'll say, for Shadow Realms at PAX, because it is not trying to be a single-player game that they're adding this multiplayer component from. It's coming from scratch. And they're building this up as this other experience. So I think that's going to be a strong point for that game. Nightmare Tide's coming out this week for Rift, so I've been getting ready there. I'll be streaming some Rift for the next couple weeks as I go through that expansion. Oh, I forgot to mention Bill. Bill and Josh and I, Josh, of course, host of Happy Hearthstone and WoW Pet Battle Crew on the network, we're going to be streaming some World of Warcraft when that expansion comes out. So looking forward to that. And, Rift, Wildstar, getting ready for Extra Life, doing a few things in-game there, getting used to my Esper. Have you picked a class yet, Bill, that you're going to play for Wildstar?
No.
I was thinking you could be an engineer, and you could go tanky and I could go healy.
I could. I have engineered engineer is like the one thing I've actually played a decent amount of, though.
Yeah.
So far I've played an engineer a lot, a gunslinger a bit, and that's it. So we'll put it in there.
Oh, we'll figure it out. I'm an Esper. I can always remake my character, but I'd have to make him exactly as derpy, because that experience, I have to say, went really well with our our chat room choosing exactly how derpy my character was. He is, Harry, you would be wonderfully impressed with this little Chua. He is wonderfully rotund, with probably the best set of buck teeth you've ever seen.
Why are you telling me this?
Brightest
what are you implying here?
Fur that I've ever seen. The most phallic nose, I think, probably in existence ever in any game whatsoever, and Dumbo ears.
He's implying, Harry, that you have a thing for small hairy beasts.
Not anymore. I've learned my lesson.
Nice.
Don't make that mistake 3 times. Okay.
And hey, talking about mobile games, I haven't mentioned it on the show yet, but I've been playing it for the last few weeks. Spider-Man Unlimited. I don't know what the style of game is called. What is that one that you're basically running through a course, like, and you have 3 lanes and you jump and duck and...
Guitar Hero?
No. No, not Guitar Hero. But basically, you kind of go through, and it's cool. It's got some MMO element in that your gear is not your gear; it's your different Spider-Men that you can get, and you're fighting, this dimension-spanning Sinister Six. So you have all the different versions of the villains from all the different universes, but you're basically running through, and as you go through the world, it gets faster and faster and faster and faster. And it's just a really, really well-built game. I have not spent a single dime. I have been tempted to as a shortcut, but not because I felt I needed to. I knew exactly what I needed to do to gain sort of the currency in game, and you can gain all the currency that you need in game. There's no currency that you can't get in game, which is really cool. So if you like those sort of free running games, I guess, I don't know what else to call them. There's one out there that's like the Stig, that's like that. So yeah, Layanor just almost put the link in there. I'm trying to grab it so that I can show it to our live stream audience, and Layanor is being a pain. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So let me just bring it up here, and I can show everybody here. So there you go. Our chat room can see what it looks like. Blah 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 blah. There we go. So now you can kind of see what it is. It's running through, and I am so impressed. I play it on my iPad and on my iPhone, and it saves to the cloud, so my progress is saved on the cloud. I can go through and do everything. And there's little web swinging portions that feel really cool and feel like Spider-Man. And sometimes I just realize exactly how old I am when things just get going too fast, and I just do not have the reflexes. So it's really cool. I don't know if you guys are looking at the chat room at all or at the live stream, but sort of playing it there for everyone to see. I'm kind of impressed by it, like a lot, and I'm impressed at how little I had to actually feel like I had to pay to continue the game.
Okay.
Reminds me of a lot of older shooters. Audio Surf actually comes to mind when I look at this.
Kind of like that, yeah. But there's this whole genre, because I've seen a couple of games like this where it's 3 tracks and you have to jump or duck or move to different lanes, and right. This one just adds sort of a combat element to it. And then there's different events that they have going on where you can earn the in-game currency or earn different Spider-Man or stuff like that. Just super duper impressed. Great time killer. Wonderful on the toilet. Just want to say. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I feel like we've just invented a new podcast.
I believe
we are actually
just right
on a whole new level.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's move things on to the news.
Let's flush. Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah, I know. I was totally not playing EVE Online on my MacBook. That would be silly.
I thought he was feigning permadeath, which would be really weird.
Oh.
There are some very weird things happening in the world of EVE Online, and as Bill is hinting, there are some changes in the horizon. For EVE Online. EVE Vegas 2014 is this weekend, and CCP Rise is one of the developers, has discussed some of the plans for EVE in the near future. And one of the first thing they're going to change is their new player experience. And that's good, because the new player experience was kind of akin to some guy coming over to your house and beating your head over the keyboard over and over again until your nose bled.
Oh, come on. It wasn't
And-
that easy.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying not to scare people. The big problem with the tutorial is that it is incredibly boring, and it doesn't, and that's the main thing. It doesn't represent what you're actually doing in the game. It's kind of presented the way you play a quote unquote normal MMO, in the sense that you have missions to complete. And that's just not the game. And one of the things they've realized is that when people come to EVE Online, they don't come to EVE Online to do mission running or to do mining. Or they come to EVE because they read this cool story about some heist or some big war or some big PvP battle. And if that's what you're coming to the game for, then you are very disappointed if you have to spend a day flying from location to location, clicking on an obtuse menu system and trying to feel your way through that. So they are going to completely scrap the current tutorial and replace it by a new opportunity system. And that, the exact details aren't clear. What they're trying to do is once you get into the game, show you what you can do. Like, okay, this is player versus player. This is going into wormholes. This is doing running incursions. And by giving players this list of things to do and some basic information, they want to point them towards the community to get in touch with people who can actually make that happen. And so getting people up to speed as quickly as possible for the real game that is EVE Online. So a very good and noble idea. Weird thing is they want to add permadeath, and I don't understand this exactly. What I've read is they want to allow players to buy a character with a lot of skill points that you can allocate in a way that you see fit. So you can basically buy a high-level character, for lack of a better analogy. And the only downside of this would be that if it dies, then it is dead. So you lose everything, at least for this character. I could see this as some kind of... and this is the weird thing. They want to do this to give new players the ability to be effective in battles against older players who have those skills, quote unquote, naturally by playing the game for so long and accumulating skill points. What I don't see a new player taking the risk of buying a permadeath character while there is relative safety in playing as a newbie, because you're just... Well, you die, but if you have insurance, you get your ship reimbursed, and if you have a clone up to date, you get your skill points back. So basically, that's a much more safe way of getting into this. I could see high-level players doing this to buy basically an ult for a specific task and keeping it safe and protected. But I don't see this something. So I'm very curious how they see this fit in with new players.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wonder if that doesn't seem like it's a revenue stream. It just seems like the money is a gate more than anything, right?
I'm not even sure we're talking about real money, because it would be very... I think it would make sense to make it real money. But
if it were real money, it would have to be pretty cheap for like new players to be just making, these high-level characters and just shooting them into space right away. Or if other people were buying them as alts like you were talking about, I think it would have to be pretty cheap.
I agree with you completely. And if this is a revenue stream, sometimes I feel that game companies in general, because you're not just seeing this with MMOs, really miss the old arcade days where people just kept putting quarters into machines.
Yeah.
And... like, okay, that was the golden age. How can we get that back? How can we make people buy a game and then keep putting more money into it? If that's the case, I can't possibly see that as a reason to do that. Everything they're saying seems to be geared towards finding new players and keeping them in the game by lowering that horrible learning curve that they have. So I would not be surprised if this was something you could actually buy with in-game money. ISK.
Do we know like how many skill points are going to become available to a player that? Well, I guess it's still all theoretical. They haven't committed to moving ahead with this, but I guess it depends on what kind of level of power you can buy too, whether this is a good idea or a bad. Because at some point, I mean, at the low end, obviously, it doesn't make any sense to buy an inconsequential amount of skill points that you get from a moderate amount of play or age on your character. And if you can buy too much, well, actually, what's the downside if you could buy too much? Because you're in theory still crippled by the amount of money that you have and the ship that you can have, right?
Basically, that's true, and also I would imagine that a more skilled toon would be more expensive as well. And I don't know. I mean, if I look at my own character, I've been playing. I can see this on the screen right now. My character was born on 22nd of January. Sorry, January of 2008, and I haven't played full time. Absolutely not. Long periods that I was not in the game, and I've accumulated 28,458,201 skill points. So let's say a 30 million skill point is kind of in the mid game. It's pretty. I can fly almost anything except capital ships. If I could buy that for money or for ISK to experiment something, and it wouldn't be too expensive, I think that would be fun to do something completely different with that kind of power, and really specialize, for example, on something for a mission. But I still see this as a niche thing. I cannot imagine. I'm very curious what they are intended to do with this. I think, but guys, is this going to take you back into EVE if they're going to change the new player experience?
Nope.
Unlikely.
I'm actually interested in getting into it. I was contacting you earlier during the week, which you didn't contact me back, by the way.
I'm
Harry.
sorry, I saw it. I was so busy.
Well, once you get a handle on the game, I'm actually very interested in jumping in and taking advantage of the 15 days free.
The 15 days free is great for a taste of it, but the problem is that you need basically those 15 days to understand what the frick is going on. And
yeah,
once you get a
I
handle
pretty
on
much
it,
get that.
but it's not true, and it's a complete misunderstanding of the game to think that if you're just starting out that you cannot do anything. You can do basically all of the activities in the game to a certain extent with your basic level character. You just start flying around, shooting stuff, killing people. It's all possible. So give me a shout in game when you're in EVE. Just give me a shout, and maybe I'll get you up and running.
Okay.
I'm everybody's enabler when it comes to EVE. I'm just not good at it. I can't keep people playing.
No, you just ditch
I can
us.
get them in, but
You just ditch us.
I don't ditch you. The entire corporation was completely dead and quiet, and I wanted to have some fun. Damn it!
Mm-hmm.
And it's 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyways, let's move on, Layanor. I don't want to talk about this anymore. My heart's broken.
Let's talk about Final Fantasy XIV then.
Ah, crap.
That's good. Oh, wait, before you start ragging on Final Fantasy XIV again, I want to ask you, how many subscribers does Final Fantasy XIV have, and how many people are still playing Neverwinter Nights?
Neverwinter Nights? I don't know. That game's like 10 years old.
Sorry, Neverwinter, the game that you were so desperately in love with. You're not even playing it anymore.
See, my problem. No, we're not getting into. Screw you. We're not getting into this again because I'm.
Because I'm right.
I'm going to spend a half hour showing you how wrong you were.
No, but I've already proved my point. You're not playing the game anymore.
Yes, I am.
In this game, not only do I play it.
Stop.
It's the most popular MMO after World of Warcraft.
Okay, when is before your two friends started playing? When was the last time you played it before that? Thank you. All right, Layanor, go ahead. Nope.
I don't remember.
Go ahead.
The
Layanor.
new expansion for Final Fantasy XIV is called Heavensward.
Heavensward.
Heavensworth.
Heavensward. No, ward, as in a ward.
Like
Sword.
sword?
It's like a
Oh.
swan and a sword
I was
combined
thinking
together.
heavensward, like
It's like the
towards the
direction, like
heavens.
eastward, westward, heavensward.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're so right. You're absolutely right.
Ah.
When you're right, you're right.
that's what I just said.
You're right. I'm telling you, you're right.
But Bill says you're questioning me, and then Bill says it, and like, oh yeah, that's right.
I
said you were-
Anyway,
I
they're going to
carry a
be
lot more
increasing the
credibility on
jobs
this
from
podcast.
to level 60 and the classes. They're going to be introducing more massive new areas. They're going to be adding in some new jobs, which they haven't really said much of, but they keep showing dragoons in the video. There's going to be new dungeons, some high-end raids, and you're going to be able to build your own airships. Now, I don't know if that's going to be for your guild or just you personally, but you're going to be able to build those. And there's going to be more gear and recipes and some other stuff. They haven't gone into big-time detail on these things yet, and there is no date given yet, but there is going to be some more information coming up in another convention.
Pretty cool cinematic.
Yes.
I'm
As
impressed.
is the game.
The game
they
is a
haven't-
pretty cool cinematic. Yeah, I would agree. It's not much of a game, but it's a hell of a cinematic.
They haven't
How-
had server mergers yet.
Actually, as I was saying, this game has over 2 million subscribers. It is, after World of Warcraft, the biggest subscriber MMO in the world.
No, if you feel the need to keep defending it, you go ahead, Harry. You go right ahead.
Wildstar. Sorry,
you go- you go
who's
ahead.
just
You go ahead,
talking
Harry.
about
No, you
Wildstar
make
all the
yourself Feel
time?
better. You go ahead.
You know, screw you guys. I'm leaving.
Didn't
I
Destiny
actually-
have 3 million?
Yeah,
Yes,
3.2.
but, yeah,
Yeah.
Are they subscribers, Layanor? Do they play a monthly fee?
They do not.
Do
well,
they
it's on
play-
the
All right,
PlayStation
you know
Network,
what?
right?
You know what, Harry? I am just fed up with this. You can just go. Like, it's not like you have some prearranged plan that you have to leave for some appointment or anything like that. It's really that I'm just so angry with you that I want you off my podcast. Goodbye, good sir.
And it's the same here. It's not at all that we've already agreed that I would leave at this time because I have this appointment. I'm just getting up in a huff and leaving now.
And don't
So-
you
so
dare
know.
not come back next week and have fun recording this podcast at the same time next week. Don't you
Oh,
dare not come back.
I will not come back. Oh, you better believe I will not come back.
Good
You
man.
better not. Don't let that door hit your ass on the way out.
I said
bye.
see you next week, sir.
Goodbye.
I said next week, sir.
Goodbye.
Okay.
You are
Bye,
the weakest
guys.
link. Goodbye.
And with that bombshell, guys, have fun. See you next week.
Bye, Harry.
Bye-bye.
All right, moving things along. Arcade has some new areas coming up soon. 6 new zones are going to open up with the launch of Aurora, a new area, and 4 will be available for guilds to claim and rule from the safety of their player-built castles. 30% more housing space will be available to players throughout these 4 claimable zones. So some really cool stuff here. Layanor, I think you have the most experience in Arcade, and I think you still didn't make it to max level, did you?
No, not yet.
No, you're still working on it though. It's still something that's you're itching to go back into.
Yeah, things are a little bit crazy over here, so I haven't been jumping into MMOs too much. But yeah, this is it's still installed, and I keep it updated. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that and what is it? 2 months after launch, a big update. I mean, this is several years after the Asian launch, but hey, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. I was kind of surprised when they were talking about adding in a new continent. So it's like, geez, it just came out.
I was actually curious to see that on Raptor, Arcade is in like the top 10 game of all games being played in the last week. So there's actually quite a few people in there. And again, I don't know if that's because if that's including Asian gamers and that kind of thing, or the Asian version of Arcade. But even if that's the case, that's still a lot of people playing Arcade right now.
Yes, it is, and I think that's really cool. I'm very happy with that. It's a very good game. I really was surprised because I was very lukewarm on it in the beta. Didn't even get, I think, more than 5 or 6 quests in, and then I went in at launch, and other than the fact that I've been too busy to play pretty much anything other than what I'm exactly covering, it's been calling to me. I just haven't had a chance to actually answer.
You know, and yeah, I'm kind of the same. I would like to be able to burn some more time on it, but I'm just going to do a little rundown here. This is my first world problem here that we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Right now, this is just MMOs. This isn't even everything installed on my computer right now. I've got Guild Wars 2, Old Republic, Lord of the Rings Online, Dark Age of Camelot, Rift, Wildstar, Neverwinter, World of Warcraft, Star Trek Online, Guns of Icarus Online, The Secret World, Firefall, Marvel Heroes, and Arcade, all installed, all just sitting there staring at me saying, "Play me."
Yeah.
And it's crippling. It is. It's, again, first world problem. I know. I feel bad for even complaining, but I just did.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It really is something that.
And I know Chris is sitting there saying that's like the first row on his shortcut bar.
Kinda. It's sad but true. Yeah, it really is. So Arcade, lots of new stuff coming out. Happy to see Tryon have another success. They were, I think, they came out with Rift, and for all the WoW clone talk and all that sort of stuff, they really came out pretty rosy out of that whole experience, and a really trustworthy company. And then Defiance kind of came out, and I don't want to say through no fault of the developers, but it was definitely something that was way higher than the on-the-ground programmer guys or the community team or anything. Their public image really tarnished from what I could see. And it's nice to see them sort of come out the gates here with Arcade. And although they're just sort of the North American publishers and they're the ones who westernized it, it's still very much their baby in the English-speaking world here. And I'm really happy to see them be doing so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope it keeps going. Like we talked about before, that MMOs are not a zero-sum game. I mean, even if Arcade isn't your cup of tea, people should still be happy that it's doing well, because the more good MMOs are out there, the better MMOs in general be. A rising tide lifts all ships. So this is ultimately a good thing. So good MMOs are good for everyone, even if it's not your quote-unquote your MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. No, I wholeheartedly agree. All right, let's move things along
Except
here.
for Final Fantasy XIV, because screw that game.
Correct, sir. You are allowed to stay on the podcast. You are not getting kicked off tonight, sir. All right, so I want to talk about our sponsor, GoDaddy. You can use the coupon code MMO30 to get 30% off your order. GoDaddy is absolutely fantastic. They have been our hosting provider since before they were our sponsor. Going on 5 years now. We've been doing all of our hosting through them, all of our domains through them, and this is just such a fantastic deal. If you're looking at starting maybe a gaming podcast or a gaming blog, or something that you want to get going online, maybe a site that focuses on Arcade screenshots, GoDaddy is the place to go. And using this code MMO30, you can get 30% off your offer. So really, go check them out. They've got lots of tools for those of us, and I'm including myself in this, who are not the most tech and web savvy, to make an absolutely killer site. So go check out GoDaddy.com. Use the coupon code MMO30 for 30% off any purchase. All right. Let's move things along. Bill, why don't you get going right away with our next story?
Well, just wanted to kind of do a quick drop. I'm actually really sad Harry's not here for this, because I can hear him clapping with glee over this. But Elite Dangerous has announced a premier event that's going to be happening on November 22nd that they're calling. Well, they're calling it a premiere event, and I don't know what that actually means. Does that mean it's the first Elite Dangerous event or fan event? Does it mean it's a launch ceremony? I know that right now the estimated release for Elite Dangerous is supposed to be Q4 of this year, so I'm kind of hoping, I've got my fingers crossed that that's the actual date, but it's really not very clear. So I
Yeah.
want to get excited, but I'm not there yet.
And I am sort of torn between Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous because I think both games will absolutely suck up your world. And I am kind of in love with Elite Dangerous's UI system and the way that it's set up around sort of the player and the way in which it sort of pops up in a lot of ways around the cockpit, kind of like a real HUD. So it's really, really cool. And I think their virtual cockpit could be potentially really a lot better than Star Citizen's, at least from what I saw at PAX. But I think, you know what's going to end up in the end with this new genre of space games like Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous, kind of trying to do a dogfighting plus Eve. I think the winner is going to be the one where all your friends end up.
Yep,
And-
exactly.
I think it's going to be good no matter what. It's the same thing as what we were just saying about Arcade. Two awesome space sims out there means that you're going to have two really good games. That's some people are going to like one better than the other, obviously, but ultimately they're going to be feeding off of each other, and they're going to have to be. It's going to be pushing each of themselves and the other up and coming games to be better. Because...
Well, I think there's a chance that one very good game may die because everybody just chooses out of these two great options, chooses one, whether it be Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous, and that's where it's going to end. I mean, I was looking at Star Citizen, and okay, maybe I'm just old or something, but there are some ships available on there quite regularly for several $100s of quote unquote backing. Right? You donate more money and you get these ships. And I'm sure there's people who have all the ships available, which has to be now at this point nearing $20,000 worth of backing that you've given to get all these ships. I mean, but they're cool. And I'm not, I'm worried that no, I'm not going to pay any money. I'm worried that all the cool ships will be for money and you're not going to be able to earn them in game through Star Citizen. And I haven't seen that as much for Elite Dangerous, which is another reason why I'm kind of leaning that way.
The fact that there's a chance that you might get to play Elite Dangerous in 2014.
You can play Star Citizen now too, the dogfighting mode and stuff like that. So
yeah, but that's dogfighting mode, and that's pre-beta. I think it's still technically alpha, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a module, but that's how they're going to release the game. They're going to release it in modules that clamp together, and you can add to the game chunk by chunk. So,
and that's fine, but it's still alpha.
Yeah.
So, whereas Elite Dangerous, they're hitting beta 3 apparently on October 28th as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, you might play it if the premiere event actually is a release thing. I guess that would coincide with the whole North American Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, Christmas season kind of thing.
Very well.
If you're aiming for a release, that's probably a good time to do it.
Yep. All right. Guns of Icarus, new update. Layanor was talking about this earlier. 2 new maps, a matchmaking overhaul. Leveling is no longer linked to achievements.
Thank God.
Is a good thing, Layanor, I take it?
Yeah.
And a bunch of bug fixes on Steam Workshop so that players can add to the game themselves, including ship logos. And starting on October 27th, they're going to have a 2-week celebration where everyone in game will unlock the anniversary ship theme as well as a birthday hat. Arguably their funniest hat ever.
Totally coming right out of the Team Fortress 2 playbook there.
Yeah, let's get hats. Woo! That being said, I think we all agree that Guns of Icarus is fun as all get out. So, yeah, anybody who wants to play. And it's so weird because there's no other game to really compare it to, is there?
No, not really, no.
So it's its own thing. It's like a team-based tank game where you take control of the different parts of the tank. I guess like Star Citizen is going to allow that as well, where you can have different crew positions and stuff like that. So go check it out. I think what I'm getting at is go check out the damn game. It's worth it.
Yes.
Really, that's what it comes down to. Hey, Bill, anything cool happening in Guild Wars 2 at all this year?
Why, actually, there happens to be some things that are going to be cool happening. They just happened to announce it today. Guild Wars 2 did a quick blog post today describing everything that's going to be happening for the remainder of 2014. They announced that the Mad King event is going to return on October 21st. That's the Guild Wars 2 Halloween event, which is actually pretty involved. I haven't completed all the achievements for that. I don't think I've even come close to completing those achievements yet. So it's pretty cool. You can get some pretty neat cosmetic stuff and that kind of thing. There's a couple of like jumping puzzles and events and dungeons and that kind of thing that you can go into, and it's worth if you're already a Guild Wars 2 player, it's worthwhile to hop back in and check out the event. The Living Story is going to resume on November 4th, so you'll get to the next chapter. I won't give any spoilers for what just finished happening, but if you've completed that, then you'll know it was a bit of a cliffhanger. So
Dun, dun, dun.
dun dun dun. So definitely check that out. That'll be interesting. Winter's Day is coming on December 16th. So we're gonna have Halloween and Christmas events. Just saying.
Ooh.
So Winter's Day was always a little bit more meh for me. It was much more of a popcorny thing, whereas the Mad King was something that I could really sink my teeth into. So if I had to pick one, I would do the Mad King, but they're both interesting and worth doing. Unfortunately, it feels like the Living Story is really going to slow down for the sake of getting those seasonal events in. So there's the downside for that there. And finally, they just gave a little tiny bit of a tease for the Living Story Season 2 conclusion. So I think they're going to do one more big patch or release for the Living Story after the update that comes on November 4th. And that's going to be the finish for Season 2, which is roughly the pattern that they gave to the Living Story last year as well. So they've got 4 things happening, or 4 events kind of happening over the next 4 months taped out there. So looks like we've talked that Guild Wars 2 is a little bit slow for their content releases and that kind of thing. And I think that's still the case here. But it's moving, at least. There's stuff happening, and there's always these bubbles of rumors happening that the reason that the content is slowing down is because there's a secret expansion that they're actually working on. So nobody has ever confirmed. That's pure speculation, rumor, and horrible rumor mongering, I guess. But I've got my fingers crossed that that's actually the case.
There we go. I think that's very, very likely. All right, moving things along. Layanor,
Guess what I did?
what did you do?
I installed Cydia Steam 2 weeks ago. Guess
Did
what
you?
happened?
What happened?
Well, it's not closed, but there is a server merge.
Damn it, Layanor, are you shutting down another game?
On October 21st, the U.S. servers for the game will be merged into one single server for everybody in the U.S. Players on the US 2 and US 3 servers affected by the mergers will get packages with subscription time, metal, alloy, revamped gems, vehicle parts, and lucky slots. That's not lucky slots. That's lucky scrolls.
It sounds like a breakfast cereal.
So Layanor,
Kind of crunchy.
Layanor,
Yeah.
no more games for you.
But they're cool.
Yeah, but you kill them.
You are not allowed to play Guild Wars 2.
I already ordered a Play-Doh controller, though.
All right, there you go for all you City of Steam players out there. I also want to mention Extra Life. I have got a sticky post for the last week here up on our page with a little bit of video talking about what we're doing. Gaming starts at 8 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday. We're live streaming at MMOreporter.com/live and twitch.tv/MMOreporter, so you can check it out at your favorite location there. We are playing, of course, Wildstar, all Chua, all the time. We're only, though, at 28% of our goal, and we need your help. We need you to help us out, donate for the Children's Miracle Networks. If you go to MMOreporter.com/extra-life, you can find a link to our Extra Life page and see where all of our team members are choosing to donate their funds that they raised to this. We have quite a history here at MMO Reporter of supporting Extra Life. Over the past 4 years, we have raised, I did the math today, $6,180.37 over the last 4 years.
Nice.
Wow.
So we want to keep that going, folks, but we're only at 28% of our goal. So we'd really, really like to beat that. We've had some great donations over the past few days, really starting to get things going. But if you can donate $1, you can donate more, that's great. And it does let you do it through PayPal or through credit cards. So lots of possibilities there. So please go check it out. I know I built my Derpy Chua. Layanor, have you built your Derpy Chua yet? Or not Derpy Chua? I don't know. Your choice.
I hit some random buttons for a while. Actually, I went into the face and I put all of the bars all the way to the left.
Oh, so you got a scrunched face.
Yes.
Yes, I went the opposite. I have a very rotund
Perfect.
Chua. With a very phallic nose. You'll see. So, and Bill, you're creating yours this week, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And if you want to join us at any point, just send a message. My name in-game is Chuazar Morep. Chuazar, and then MMOREP. Morep. You got to get that double M, though. Morep. You figure out where we came up with that, where I came up with that last name. So that is Extra Life. Please, 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 ladies and gentlemen, if you can find it in your heart to help support this fantastic goal. I know that BC Children's Hospital, which is where our money goes, has played a really important part in my family's life. So anything I can do to help them out, I will. All right, speaking of the show now, moving away from Extra Life, we do have our patrons. We have 16 patrons. We are $22 away from releasing our first goal. Our first goal at $100 is a brand new cover song written by myself and Harry Hall, performed by myself and Harry Hall, and it is absolutely fantastic. I was working on it the other day. $22, and we will be there, folks. So check out patreon.com/MMOreporter. And, of course, our friends over at Doghouse Systems, doghousesystems.com. You go there, use the coupon code MMOreporter, and you can double your RAM. Pretty fantastic. Bill, people want to get a hold of us because it sounds like we're ending the show here, so we might want to get out the contact info before we do so.
Let's whip it out.
I have some contact info for you. You can head over to MMOreporter.com to check out our central hub for MMO Reporter podcast and all of our brother and sister podcasts out there. You can send us an email, mmo.reporter@gmail.com. You can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/MMOreporter. You can tweet at any of the MMO reporters, either at MMO_reporter for Chris, either at Harry Hall for Harry Hall, at Layanor for Layanor, believe it or not, and for yours truly at MMO Bill. You can give us a call at 616-666-6778 or click the widget on the right side of MMOreporter.com. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/user/MMO Reporter Network for all of our video feeds, streams, PAX coverage, that kind of thing. Patreon.com/MMO Reporter. As Chris mentioned, please, if you're so inclined, give us some support and see if you can squeeze an extra song out of Chris by getting us to that $100 mark. And finally, that's it. No pigeons.
No pigeons. No.
Oh,
No.
The mess.
Not even
Just
one.
the mess.
the mess.
Yeah.
The mess was terrible.
Yeah.
I seen that.
Not to mention the Pigeon Keepers Union has been a bit of a tough negotiation lately. So
I
we're
thought we
just
sent Steve to deal with them.
yeah, we did.
Damn it, Steve. All right, guys. I guess we got to go deal with Steve, so we got to end the show. Thank you, Bill, for another absolutely fantastic, super awesome show.
My pleasure.
And Layanor, as always, incredibly tolerable.
Yeah, it's because I'm hungry.
Yeah, that must be why. And of course, to our chat room, we did have a few people chatting so late in the chat room, getting ready, I guess, for Extra Life. Thanks to everyone as well who downloads the podcast or watches it on YouTube week after week. We really appreciate it. We hope that you download the podcast again next week or watch it on YouTube. And most importantly, of course, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at.
We're done, guys. Good show. Good show.
Dunsky, well played.
Good job. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.